Beltran back on the show. Once again, of course, he needed a place to stay, so I weaseled the fucking episode out of him. The usual.
Dude, staying with you is because we're doing the podcast.
The usual trade.
It's not a.
Well, it works out. I mean, it's easy. I mean, it's not like you come that often.
No, it's like one night. I never.
Well, yeah, I feel like it's like once every 3 months you blow through town.
Yeah.
And might as well make the most of it while you're here.
Yeah, do a podcast, have a couple drinks.
Before we forget, Xander's had a special come out since the last time he was.
Oh, we haven't forgotten. We haven't forgotten. We'll get.
You get it out in the early opening.
That's true. Let's get the plugs out of the way. I plug the show at the end when nobody's listening.
That's not even why I'm here. I just missed you.
I'm the producer in the room, and I got to keep you honest.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Yeah, plug it.
Help you grow.
What's up, Ready, Set, Blow listeners? It's Xander Beltran, one of your favorite guests, obviously. I just put out a new special on the Tiny Pony comedy YouTube channel. It's called Milky Mexican, and you can find it just looking up my name, Xander Beltran, Beltran, Xander for Xander. And come check me out. We're at 41,000 views and counting.
Nice,
Let's go.
brother.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. That's great.
Not too bad.
Did you have any part in this, Mike?
I did not.
Oh, that's why it looks like shit. Okay.
Oh, you watched it?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think? One view.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think more into YouTube specials. I mean, just get out more content. Like, the people are afraid to just put it on tape. Like, just go after it and get it done.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I feel like you could also sell it after the fact, can't you?
Well, selling it once it's been on YouTube is probably a little tough because it's already been seen. Out there for free and seen, but. You can put it on so many platforms besides YouTube also. But
you could also upload it to Amazon Prime and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. You can upload anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's through Zach Lord's company, so I'm just, along for the ride. Of course,
that little fucking
The thing is, no one tries to buy your like material anymore, so like, 41,000 people see it. If a couple years from now someone offers me a bigger thing, I can use some of those jokes that are like imperative to my identity again. But I'm hoping it does so well I can't. That's the ultimate
you
goal.
Put some of my favorites on there. I know you did your names at the coffee shop. I think it was on there, right?
Oh yeah,
I like that one.
All the nicknames.
All the nicknames.
That's the first joke ever.
It's a proof of concept for everyone who sees that to go see you on the road.
Like, exactly.
You check that box.
Oh, it's opened a lot of doors, and it also is cool that it's just something that I always can promote. Because sometimes you go on somebody's podcast and they're like, "What do you have coming up?" And you're like,
yeah, just go see. Just go look at that.
Yeah, go watch my special.
Those views up.
Yeah, and because of this special, a lot of people that never talked to me before email me back.
Oh, nice.
Send me a message back on Facebook.
So Dad's fine. I said, I'm proud of you, son.
Yeah.
After you got over 25,000 views.
He said, okay, you can come over for lunch.
You're welcome back to Thanksgiving dinner, you fucking...
You got to consider the audience that lives in Bloomington, Illinois, that is never going to be within a 2-hour drive of almost every city and place that you go to. So they just never will ever get to see you live. So you do it for them, too.
Yeah, they can see it on YouTube. The cool thing...
I just need to beat off to on the weekends.
I did a headlining weekend at Alameda Comedy Club. Shouts out to Alameda. I love the club. And fucking 12 different people came up to me throughout the weekend who were like, I saw you on YouTube, and then I saw your name, and I bought tickets.
Nice. I like when
wow, that's like real results, feels good.
Yeah, I think the peak of my recognition was right after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then I fell off.
People were like, that's the guy with the problematic posts.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But boy, is he funny. But boy, are they funny.
Yes. Well, they always approach with, are you Randy?
Yeah, that's your team. That's your team. You're the guy.
Oh, I like your.
You talk shit.
Yeah.
It's you roll with Jeff Dye. You guys talk shit.
Yeah. But the good news is I'm actually doing. It took a little over a year. I'm back on the Instagram Explore and home pages.
Let's go.
I can't monetize because all my clips are fucking too raunchy.
Now, when someone's trying to find new asses to watch, they might stumble upon Randy. Let's go.
It only took a year and 15 months.
They're like, I can't watch asses shake all day. Yeah. Who's using the Explore page? You ever use that page?
I know. You'd be surprised. I don't use it, but people do. I'm
just ashamed of the Explore page.
Well, you know what it is? You know what it is? People search for stuff on there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, there was this reel I saw about whatever doing cocaine in bathrooms, and they're like, and then like. Even like some of my jokes about doing blow will be on the thing.
Then an ad for voting for Biden comes up.
Yeah, right.
Vote for Whitney ironic.
Houston. Wait a minute, she's dead.
Go to DeVry University. Come do coke here.
So when'd you get up here? How long you been in town? Just 5 minutes?
I got
first stop.
I got here Sunday afternoon actually. I went and saw Dune 2 with a couple guys from the Bachelor Weekend.
Dude, I was going to ask you. I see it's a
was
billion-dollar franchise.
phenomenal.
I've never even heard of Dune until the Dune 2. What the fuck is it?
Dune is one of the first successful books that's like sci-fi.
Okay. So it's like predates like Lord
Kind
of
of
the Rings.
badass. The guy got turned down like a million times, and then he had an auto mechanic repair like magazine publish it.
Whoa.
Because the regular literature publishing companies wouldn't do it. So he's like, he just finds some guys like, yeah, fuck it, I believe in you. Like, he's got greasy hands. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And then that guy doesn't. The guy who runs the mechanic isn't a mechanic. But anyways, he gets it published, and it's popular, you know. And it's kind of what inspired George Lucas to write all of like Star Wars. It's kind of similar.
Okay, 60s. So the original 60s. Dune. So the Dune 2 is a billion-dollar franchise. When was Dune 1? When did that come out? The original.
Couple of years ago.
Was that a big success, or is it because I feel like Dune 2? I feel like I heard
but
more about
not as
Dune
big.
2 than Dune
Because it
1.
came out in the pandemic, so it was on HBO Max.
Yeah, and it's just you can't. I saw it in IMAX, and it was like, okay, I'm never gonna watch a movie like this because I tried to watch Dune 1 myself, and I watched it on a laptop, and I fell asleep.
Okay.
And I just in my head was like, I guess the movie's not that good.
That's how I felt about fucking what's the one about the atomic bomb? Oppenheimer. Oh my god.
Oppenheimer, you can sleep through.
Fucking snooze fest.
Here's the thing
Yeah.
about the
So I'm like, that's the best
Who
one ever
wants to
made.
learn about history?
Well, I know what happens. Like, make it more. There was more action in the Titanic, and we all knew the ending there. Yeah, and that's a fucking love story. Oppenheimer was fucking dragging on.
Yeah.
Dune 1 is so epic and huge that you're taking all of this in for the first time in a world you don't understand. So you barely comprehend it all. And then when you watch Dune 1 the second time before you see Dune 2, when you know all the names that the people are talking to and what the whole world is and what they're referring to, it's a different experience because you get it.
Okay.
And then you go into Dune 2 ready to fuck.
Yeah, because Dune 1 is kind of just a lot of explaining, right?
Yeah, because it's a whole world. that you
It's
have
like
to
the
make sense.
prologue, basically. Before
I just had my
friend.
friends tell me about the first one for the like hour car ride to it. And they're like such nerds. They're like,
Oh, yeah, I'd love to tell you some fun facts, little Easter eggs.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video to catch
worked
you up
fine.
in 15 minutes.
yeah, and then that's all you need because it was epic.
What's the runtime of of Dune 2?
2:30?
2:30. It's probably a half an hour longer than I usually go. But is it worth me checking out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And might I recommend just pouring a bunch of Skittles directly into your pocket and walking to the movie theater with it?
Oh, Skittles in my
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah, that's what we did. Where there's a bucket at the Bachelor's Weekend, and then we all
I bring
were like,
whole-
haha, wouldn't it be funny if I just covered my pockets in these? And then we did it.
I bring
And we were
whole
glad.
sandwiches in.
Oh yeah. You're like Jack Nicholson. You bring chili.
Yeah,
a bowl of chili.
I
in the
bring a
movie theater.
Ziploc bag full of SpaghettiOs.
That's not just the movie theater. I've seen you do that multiple places.
You don't want to show up empty-handed, you know.
Here's an early news story, but there was a guy who fell asleep in Kristen Stewart's new lesbian movie with his dick.
A
in
lesbian
his
movie
hand.
is it like a porn?
A lesbian
No,
movie.
but she's playing a.
Oh, she's playing a lesbian.
She's playing a lesbian
Okay.
who's in love with.
Randy's only. He's like, what else?
Well, yeah. What are
They have other parts of their lives.
Yeah. What kind of what makes it a lesbian movie? Scissoring the whole fucking time.
The whole time is fisting.
That she's in love with a
woman?
bodybuilder,
A female bodybuilder.
female bodybuilder.
Okay.
And some guy fell asleep with his dick in his hand in the movie theater, and then the lights came up at the end, and there he was sleeping.
That's
off.
actually good PR. Because think about it. We've learned that any news is good news from Donald Trump, right? Any
Sure.
exposure.
Yeah.
And
Kanye West.
if someone passed out jerking off to your movie, that's gonna make it to a headline somewhere. It's gonna make it to page 6 on the Post for sure. The New York Post.
Sometimes people fall asleep in my shows, and it does nothing for my career. What the heck?
Have you ever walked?
You ever done a show where they have too comfortable seating? Like there's like couches, or like I did
Yeah.
this movie theater where it has reclining like
Well, I've just had people,
lazy boy chairs
Yeah.
basically, and people pass out in them because they're 75-year-old people.
I mean, I've had someone so fucking. Oh wow, that is him with his cock in his hand.
Oh, thank God I would have
Yeah,
never
don't-
been
don't-
able
don't
to
put
get
that-
through
don't put that
today
in the video,
without
Mike.
seeing that image.
Don't put that in the video, Mike. I don't want to lose my YouTube. Fucking.
That guy looks a lot like you. Are you sure?
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, I've had people pass out during a show because they were so drunk, like literally snoring in the front row. 'cause
Yeah,
they're so hammered.
that's why.
They're so, well,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I assume they were drunk.
He does have a bottle of
Yeah.
booze and a pack of Marlboro Reds next to him.
Oh, wow, he was smoking in the movie. They're sick. Guy's killing it. This guy has to be Florida.
That's a real cool guy.
He also went alone to
Like
do
from your mom's house podcast, they go like, "That's a real cool guy."
He went to the movie theater alone with a sixer and a pack of Marlboro Reds just to beat off.
Southgate, Michigan.
Did you know that they kind of blew up Andrew Tate by putting him on the? Because you know how like Tom Segura and Christina P on their podcast they'll do like the Cool Guy Club.
Okay,
They
yeah, I
find
don't listen to it,
weirdos.
but sure.
I think apparently they were making fun of Andrew Tate and they helped him get more popular.
I mean, that's
Because all press is good press. They were like making fun of him,
That's the
clowning
thing.
him, and then all of a sudden, because other people see it and go, "Well, I actually kind of agree with that guy," even though they're watching people actively shame it. No
Yeah.
one, people are definitely down to have an opinion that everyone hates.
So
know why.
Jeff was on Rogan's podcast. He mentioned my
Yeah, I
name
saw that.
once,
That's awesome.
but it was about my arrest in Texas, and all people say, "Oh, look, he mentioned you." I'm like, "Yeah, he's talking about my fucking
Yeah,
arrest."
I would've-
It's like the highlight of my life.
Rather, he said something else.
it's a real low point. Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah, now whenever you see,
oh,
whenever
good.
you see Joe, he's gonna go, "Hey, you're that
Yeah.
guy with the DUI."
Oh, good. All of my
You're the DUI
employers
guy.
know that I got.
Yeah.
I have a felony arrest.
Do people that work in investment banking, they watch the Joe Rogan podcast? They must, right?
Plenty
to
of
get
them
up, make
do.
those 5 a.m. sales.
Plenty of them do. Well, you know how I know people are finding me? So I have like a LinkedIn, you know, I haven't updated it for fucking ever. But every, you know, once a month they'll be like, "Oh, this is how many people looked you up," you know, 30, and it'll be like 30, 40, 50 people look me up. And I'm like, if you Google me, the first thing you see is not my LinkedIn account. It's the podcast, or somewhere I've performed, or you know, something I've done comedy, because that's way more of my content online.
Right.
So if they're Googling me, like if let's say we're trying to go for a loan with a bank, and they Google my name as the CFO of the company, it's like fucking the podcast pops up. That's like go down the page to get to the LinkedIn. So it's like, oh, is this the right guy? Wait a minute, he's talking about buttholes for 45 minutes in this episode.
Everybody's like, "No, listen, Randy knows money."
Yeah.
And then you
No,
go up there, you go,
he knows finance.
"I jerk off like a chimp with my feet." We're like, we're gonna trust this guy with our money? That's crazy.
Well, yeah, I was worried about that, getting back into like the straight job. You know.
I don't know. I mean, I gave up on ever being able to do that a long time ago.
So did I. I assumed
Yeah.
I assumed that ship itself.
I'm surprised you could do it.
But you find
You must be very good at your job.
that, and you find a company desperate enough.
Yeah.
You know, well, they're all startups.
Well, I
That's
mean,
the thing, too.
sometimes
All-
the company's ran by a guy who was formerly disgraced for jerking off on Zoom.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
true.
And you're just part of the boys. You're
That's
with one of the
true.
boys.
I'm working for Harvey Weinstein right now.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
For some people, that's a dream come true.
I know, right? Who wants to fuck that guy? Although, here's a good question: would you fuck Harvey Weinstein for $100 million? Yep.
I would do it just to be a part of history. Just give me the conversation.
Yeah, I'd fuck him for all the women he fucked.
Yeah, it's like I fucked him too.
I got back at him. You know, he'd be the bottom.
6-picture deal, Miramax.
Yeah, I'd me too him.
You think Harvey Weinstein is a top or a bottom?
Ooh, I bet he's a power bottom. He looks like a weird guy. He looks like one of those kind of guys that would lay under a hammock and let you shit in his face.
Dick, you little bitch. You're like, whoa.
He's laying
All right.
under some coffee tables.
Yeah, exactly. He's a coffee table guy.
Oh, man. Every day we stray further from God.
Yeah, straight further from God's light. The world's coming to an end. Who gives a shit? You know, like you said, when we started the podcast, you know, there's a couple world wars about to start, and we're over here talking about our balls on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who do you side with, Hamas or America? I don't know who's fighting.
Hamas or America? That's how people are acting. I think it's a tough situation. I don't really want to have a public opinion about it. I think it is insane that most of the arguments are just like the other side has to disappear. I'm like,
Yeah, well,
people don't do that.
well, that's the thing. I don't like
That's
how
not how it
binary
works.
it is.
Yeah, it's like one or the other
Right.
team, and it's
Genders
like,
are no
we need
longer
a
binary, but somehow you have to choose
We
between
need a
one or the other now.
compromise. We need a compromise.
Yeah.
It has to happen. It's not going to work if it's just
That's
one
the
team or the
only,
other.
that really is like the only thing that like picking sides in geopolitics.
People
is
do that in everything.
Is the only thing that's well, think about it. Gender's non-binary. Race is now like, oh, you know, I'm mixed race. Like there's a fucking autism. There's a spectrum. Everything else has a spectrum. But when you pick sides
There is.
on a global conflict, you're either with the Jews or you're with Hamas. It's like, well.
No, I love Jewish people.
Yeah,
I love
I
Muslim
don't want
people.
innocent people to die.
I just
but
don't want
Israel
any
should be a state. Is there not somewhere in between we can meet? Is there not some middle ground
That's
here?
what I'm hoping
Wasn't
for,
there a
but-
two-state solution fucking 5 minutes ago that we were talking about? Like,
Yeah, when it seems like Israelis aren't even all on board, it's just that their leader Netanyahu's like kind of crazy.
yeah, well, I mean, you could see what happened. He apparently Chuck Schumer made that speech and he called off a fucking trip to the United States over it. It's like, dude, we just gave you like $14 billion. Maybe show up to get the check.
Yeah,
You know,
dude.
you know, how rude would that be if you asked your parents, hey,
Yeah,
Mom,
you-
can I borrow money?
Yeah,
yes,
Ven-
of course.
yeah, just send it over
come get
Venmo.
Yeah, fucking Venmo me, Mom. I'm not coming home for the holidays. It's like, what? You collect this shit in person.
I'm having a hard time getting through the holidays.
Right. Even the Laugh Factory
Venmo
makes you go
me.
pick up your check in person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I worked at Applebee's, I had to go get my last check in person.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna fucking ship
And
it
that
to
was
you.
for giving carside service. That was a low point for me, giving carside service.
Carside service.
Dude, I remember that guy
Did you roller
looking at me
skate
in
up
the
like at a
face and
Sonic?
saying, he said, "You're not main floor, you're carside service." And I was like, never been more hurt in my life.
Wait, one of the like
I was
the
working
manager?
at Applebee's for like 3 months, and I wanted to be a server, and he's like, "You're not main floor, like material. You're carside service."
Wow. I mean, there's got to be.
So I sucked that guy's dick, and then I was a general manager.
You went right to management. I became a key holder after I blew.
Yeah,
the
they made
fucking
me one
manager.
of the bees. I was one of the bees at Applebee's.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Probably that one.
Probably that one.
Worst job. That and door-to-door sales. I used to do door-to-door sales for
tough.
Dish Network, and
Door
just
to
make
door.
like no sales. People are just mad at you. You're at their house, and like it's one of those jobs where you really have to be like a little like a fucking a glob on. You need to like hang out too long. You need to be pushy, and you need to get in someone's space and make them buy. And I'm not like that.
tailored for this.
No. Yeah, if my job was to get them to share their weed, I would have killed it. But I was trying to get them to give me money for a service they already had in their house. They were already watching TV. I'm watching them watch TV, smoking their weed, trying to sell them more TV. They don't need it.
It is a pretty inefficient way to go door to door. It's like, we have telephone. You know how many people I can call when I'm not walking?
Yeah, you could sell more TV on the TV. You could just get a commercial.
No more TV.
I'm like
on the-
knocking on the door. The best part is sometimes I knock on the door and like an old Mexican woman will answer the door and she just like be like, stay, my daughter is on her way, I'm going to introduce you to her.
Oh my God, that's how
Yeah.
desperate it was, huh?
Well, they're just like, a man's at the house, my daughter needs a husband, let's get it going right now.
How ugly is this woman's daughter that she's just taking any guy who'll knock on the door?
I need to go into door-to-door sales. Which Mexican neighborhood is this?
You never know because she either
As a
looks
white guy, you do well.
like Selena or the woman who tried to kill her.
Yes.
Someone who's setting up their daughter, it's either they hid this beautiful woman and she's never seen anybody,
Yeah.
or she's not that beautiful.
Which is that first part is true though, because you know how protective Latin culture is over there.
Yeah.
Over the daughters.
Well, if she's fat as hell, she looks like Jennifer Lopez. You gotta hide her. Somebody's gonna scoop her up, try to put her in a movie or something.
Yeah, or get her pregnant without out of wedlock, and we can't have that.
Beautiful, dumb, homeschooled girl.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a Mexican girl for more than 30 seconds.
A
She's
man
pregnant.
can dream. Something about a girl who can barely read, you know.
Well, listen, that the problem is that even if a woman's not educated, they still have opinions. You can't yank an opinion out of people.
Yeah.
Women don't think with logic; they think with emotions. I've said this before. It's not about the facts of the matter; it's how they feel about the facts of the matter. That's how it really. That's why men lose arguments.
Because they're arguing two different points.
Yeah,
This
this
is what happened, and the other one's this is how you make me feel.
Exactly.
And I understand that because sometimes I'm also arguing. I'm kind of a sensitive man. I felt like that before. I'm like, no, it's not what happened, man. Instead, the vibe was off.
Yeah.
So I just try to make it funny, but it's just that wasn't. I just didn't feel.
That's
good.
how people are. I mean, we were talking a minute ago about geopolitics, but that's how elections work. It's not whether or not someone's actually qualified. It's whether or not people generally like them.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, like them. You know.
Just crazy that we're choosing between the two most unliked presidential candidates,
Dude, I feel like
of all time.
For 3 elections in a row, we've gone. It's gotten worse. Like,
That's how undesirable the position is. There's
both
got to be a
unlikable
guy out
every
there.
time.
There's got to be somebody out there,
and
or a woman out there who's charming and smart.
And they're
There has
doing
to be.
jobs that are worth doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, being the president is just not. It doesn't seem.
No,
worth
yeah,
it,
they're
man.
the CEO at Google or something.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the only reason fucking
makes
Trump
sense.
wants the job is to stay out of criminal
yeah,
trouble.
he needs to, or
That's what
he'll
I'm saying.
go to prison.
That's what I'm saying. If they gave him immunity, he wouldn't run again. He'd be like, whatever. Like,
That's the craziest.
if they said, you have blanket immunity, just go home. He'd be like, fine.
That's
He
why there's so
doesn't
many
care.
criminals in politics too, because they wouldn't be able to get out of their crimes if they weren't in the group.
Oh, that fucking senator from New Jersey who was caught with gold bars from an Egyptian.
It's built in
Yeah.
like corruption, because like why wouldn't you as a criminal try to get in one of those positions, because it gives you all this leverage.
Oh, yeah. It gives you ultimate control over your own destiny. I mean, Donald
That's why I
Trump's trying
said
to be
we hand it
president
over to
to
the AI. We let AI run everything. Okay, we just tell the AI, be nice. That's what we say
Well,
first, be nice.
Remember, AI is racist.
Is it racist?
Well, I think I've heard that.
Doesn't it
claim-
have, people say it has a liberal lean? Or is it also too white, too? It's like a white liberal lean?
Well, so years ago, I remember there was a big fucking kerfuffle over when Apple introduced the face recognition technology because Asian people could like open up each other's phones. But I mean, but that's because they didn't. And apparently, because the way AI works is it depends on the input in. So Apple didn't have 2 billion Chinese users.
Do you think they could open another person's phone by just going like this? You know that weird smile white people do when they're awkward, like,
or doing that bad dance where they bite their lower lip.
yeah, that might work.
No, but there was a big thing about that, and then they say like, AI is racist because it assumed like when you talk about, oh, show me a CEO, it was like a white guy, and then they made it woke. We're saying don't make it a white guy now. Like show me the founding fathers, and they show you a black guy. It's like, well, that's not right either. So it depends on the inputs. But it's just a computer program. Like, how can math be racist? I don't understand how that could be. It's really a function of the.
Well, it's the way that it's the same way like the SAT can be racist. It's just like a group of knowledge that is more likely for you to know if you like come from a Western culture and that's what you grew up around.
Yeah.
Because it'd be questions about a book that's like, oh, you had to have read this book, but it's like if you grew up in another part of the world and you read their literature, you wouldn't have heard of this.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you had the face recognition technology of a Huawei phone, there's not a lot of fucking white people in Asia, so I'm sure it's pretty bad at judging, one white person from the other. Like the quality of the inputs. You know what I'm saying? It's just is what it boils down to, I think. I don't know, that's my personal opinion. But getting back to bad jobs, so Applebee's, huh? That's pretty fucking bad. Not even a server. Were you
the
like
worst job? So
you know that roller skating out to the car?
You know
like
the
a
joke
Sonic?
the joke in my special, and it's part of the Beaner Schnitzel joke that I have, and Milky Mexican's the name of the title. That's the title joke from the special. The guy that says, "Oh, dude," when I go, "I'm Mexican too," you go, "I'm Mexican, right?" Because he goes, "Yeah, fucking Mexicans over the beach, like fuck them, dude." Yeah. And I'm like, "I'm Mexican, right?" And he's like, what if you were though, dude? That'd fucking suck." That was a real thing that happened at Applebee's while I was working there.
Really?
A guy who was working on the line said that to me because he said something racist about Mexicans, and I was like, I'm Mexican, right, man? And he was like, what if you were though, dude? That fucking sucks.
That's
dude.
crazy. That's crazy.
A real thing that happened.
What's crazy about that is because I recently saw, and I think I might have it on my phone.
Racist surfer. So funny.
I think I have it on my phone. There was like a white guy doing man on the street stuff, and he asked a bunch of different people, black, white, and non-Latino, just basically black and white people.
Sure.
So if you could be any other race, what would it be? And all of them chose Latin, Mexican,
Really?
or some form of Latino. Yeah, because I feel like Latinos is it's like right in the sweet spot. You're not. You don't have. It's not.
We can white pass if we need to.
Yeah, you're still
and
cool.
also, I mean, if I go outside a lot, I can show you that I'm brown.
Yeah.
And if I stay inside, I can get very white and like.
I feel like if you ask 1,000 women, which race of men do you think is the most attractive? I feel like most of them would pick Latino.
You think so?
Well, because I feel like it's a good blend. There's something like swarthy.
We've got the Latin love.
Yeah, and suave about it. Plus, they seem to have a good time. I mean, like, say what you will about Mexican culture. Me and Jeff talk about this all the time. They're always in a good mood.
We're having fun.
Dude, yeah, have you ever like
even at work they're trying to have a good time?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you can speak Spanish, but even if you don't speak Spanish, if you talk to like a Mexican day laborer and they don't know what you're saying, you'll never see a bigger smile on they're just a huge smile. Yes. And they just yes you to death.
Yeah.
No, everyone else looks confused. Like if you ask some fucking,
they'll just agree with
somebody from Japan or something. They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like they'll look at you confused. Like, yes, and they just smile.
Yeah, my grandma was just like, "Why not?" He'd be like, "Why not smile back?"
Yeah, I mean, you order a beer in Mexico, and everyone just says "cerveza." It's just fucking a good time. Like, I have not seen a single Mexican or Latino person complain in my entire life about work.
Yeah,
like my dad would.
That's one of our issues. I think we actually might do better if we took a page out of everybody else's book and complained about our jobs. We might get more money. Yeah. That's why there's like a holiday for the one Mexican guy who complained. His name is Cesar Chavez. There's like a whole day for the guy. He's just the only guy who complained, and he did in a way where Mexican people were like, "I'll let it slide."
Yeah, he's the only one.
The rest of us are always like, "Don't complain, just work harder."
Yeah, just shut up, dude.
Yeah, go find somewhere else. Like that's how I am about comedy. There's places where they don't like me, and I don't know. I'll talk to people and they're like, "Does it ever?" And I'm like, "Sometimes it bothers me," but I just was always like, "Okay." Nice place.
Yeah.
I'll get somewhere else.
My favorite is how in Mexican culture they call you by like
move on to the next.
Mr. your first name. Like like you stayed at a hotel
Senor.
in Cancun. Oh, thank you, Mr. Randy.
Mr. Randy. Hey, Mr. Randy. Hey, Mr. Randy, your car is all gassed up.
Exactly. Mr. Randy, your car's clean.
You know what's the funniest Mexican thing?
What's that?
Is that they call God Señor Dios. Mr. God.
Mr. God.
Yeah, I'll go to Catholic church and I'll have a hard time not busting up with my Mexican family because we'll go. And sometimes my grandmother liked to go to Spanish mass,
Yeah.
And then the guy would be like, Señor Dios, and I'm like, Mr. God. Like,
No shit, because
it's not in every religion, but the Catholics will do that. They say Señor Dios sometimes.
I'm Dominican, and we were all Catholic, but they just call him Dios. They don't say the Señor.
They'll also call him Dios, but they'll still sometimes call him
They call him the Father.
the Father. Yeah. Because Señor is like, it's almost like more like your senior than just like a
I'm
man.
surprised they don't call him Don.
It's like Sir. It's like Sir.
Don Dios.
Yeah. Don Dios. Tune in next week to see whether Don Dios saves Maria from the lava.
I know. Well, that's a telenovela. By the way, highest ratings. I feel like your average telenovela gets fucking Super Bowl ratings in Latin America. They love a soap opera.
Oh yeah.
In Latin countries, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. The two channels. I mean, they're still on two channels. It's Univision and Telemundo.
Yeah, my grandma never missed an episode. She always watched. She was always.
Was it Dos Mujeres, Un Camino? Is that still on?
I don't know. I didn't watch them.
Two Women in the Way is the translation of that?
That was when we know we could get
Story
up.
of my life.
When I was a kid, that was like when we knew we could maybe get up to some trouble.
Yeah,
because she was distracted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're like, oh, she's watching her shows.
my
Let's fight in the backyard.
My program's on. Shut the fuck up. Get out.
I'm hitting my cousin now. I'm gonna hit my cousin. I have time.
That was my grandfather's favorite. It was my grandfather. It ain't my grandmother. My grandfather was the one who liked it the most, and his favorite was Dos Mujeres Un Camino.
Nice. Do you ever watch? Do you watch any trashy TV? Like,
oh, plenty.
Yeah.
Well, I try to limit it. So I would say 80% of my consumption of content is documentaries.
Okay.
Like that's what I fall asleep to at night. That's what I watch if I want. Oh, there's a new documentary out.
You're one of those stoners, huh? You like to get high and be like, huh.
Yeah.
So that bird flies.
Oh yeah.
From there to there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like watching a show that requires me to Google it while I'm in the middle of it.
I'm like the stoner who likes to watch a thing that's not real, like fantasy. Yeah. Or like, what if we lived in space? That'd be crazy.
Yeah. But the one exception is, there's a new one out now, fucking Love Island UK All Stars. Love Island. I love Love Island.
I'm sure.
Such great trash TV.
I've never watched it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what you're missing.
I've been single for a while, so no one's made me.
Yeah. Well, last week, was it last week or the week before? I had a thought about starting a.
You get to watch with Braxton, which is similar to watching something because he's gay. It doesn't. Yeah, like as a straight man, sometimes watching something alone, you're like, I don't know if I can do this by myself.
Oh, reality TV.
He was the one who got me into it.
Else, but not that.
Yeah, like that. Well, it's just like alone. It's like watching a Pixar movie. I love them. If I'm with a girl I'm dating, I will like cuddle up next to her or cry watching the movie too.
Or with the kid you're trying to traffic.
Yeah, or with one of my family members, niece or nephew, or somebody I'm doing business with. Yeah,
I'm doing business with.
No, it's like you can't. But then I feel like with Braxton you can watch trash.
Yeah, well, he's the one who got me into it
because that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
I like to be girls with my gay friends. It feels good to be a little.
I don't mind it. I'll have a white wine spritzy with Braxton.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that
gay.
when I go home and
Feels
visit
good.
my family, me and my brother, who's fucking an intimidating kid, even more so than me, we'll watch because I got him into Love Island UK, and we'll sit down and drink an entire bottle of Jameson and watch a whole season of Love Island UK.
Do you guys have masculine arguments about it? Dude, fuck Samantha is crazy, bro.
Dude, 18 months ago, so not last Christmas, the Christmas before, we got into a shouting match at 4:30 in the morning. In my mom's basement watching Love Island UK.
About Love Island?
Yeah, and she came down what the fuck are you guys yelling about? No, Ma, it's the TV. We're fucking...
When we
came, call her Ma.
When we came to this country, we didn't think this is what was going to happen. Our family worked through extreme poverty for you to be my son while yelling about Love Island.
Yeah, just two bulls in the basement yelling at each other about a stupid fake love TV show. I'll top you off.
Too? Yeah, thank
you. I'll top you off. Yeah. I actually had a question for you, and I thought about this the other night, but it bubbled up in my head when you were talking about working for Applebee's, and you too, Mike, because I was complaining about sauces that I get from takeout joints. you know, you go to Taco Bell, they give you a heavy bag of sauce. You go to fucking McDonald's, they give you fucking 2 packages of ketchup. But
Sure.
I was at a BJ's up in Westlake with some work folks, and somebody ordered one of the pizzas when they ordered a side of ranch, and I'm like, what? That's the worst dipping sauce option they have here. And they go, you crazy? And I said, listen,
You don't do ranch with pizza?
I know I have with bad pizza.
You're from the East Coast. You
Yeah,
you guys hate that there. I remember getting yelled at
good-
about it.
No, pizza ranch with Domino's I get.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but you get a New York slice and you put the ranch on it, it's like you're fucking ruining it.
Depends on. Yeah, I wouldn't do
Quality,
that.
the lower the quality of the food, the more you want the sauce.
I'm from California. I like pizza that's spicy
Okay.
and then dip it in ranch.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's the thing.
It's like our style.
I feel like
here.
it's a fast food thing specifically. So I was like, so they were like, oh, ranch is my favorite. And I'm like, all right, let's just take McDonald's, right? They have like 5 basic sauces, right? They have the ketchup, honey mustard, sweet and sour, barbecue, and ranch, right? How would you rank those 5 typical sauces?
If it's McDonald's sauce, then ranch isn't gonna go high up because their ranch is trash.
The ranch is trash. Okay.
Yeah, but if it's good ranch, it's like, I don't know, what's a similar thing where if it's really good, it's like the best. And
Ranch
if
is like a house style. Like you get a house style ranch at a restaurant, it's crushing.
it's amazing. Yeah,
You get it in a packet, like pass.
yeah.
Because I feel like ranch ranks.
Especially shelf stable ranch, I'm not fucking with that.
Okay.
If I buy
Shelf
ranch at a,
stable. You want a bespoke ranch?
if I buy, yeah, bro, if I'm buying ranch, I buy it from the refrigerated dressing section. And let me plug you. Anybody who likes ranch, Bolt House or Lighthouse Ranch is fire.
Okay.
Lighthouse Ranch,
So, yeah,
refrigerated. It's fresh. It has like fresh dill in it. It's delicious.
Okay, you don't go
Shelf
Newman's
stable
Own- you-
ranch is trash. And
you don't
yeah,
go
so
Newman's
McDonald's
Own-
ranch is garbage.
Okay.
I would go barbecue sauce, sweet and sour, honey mustard.
Ketchup, then ranch.
Well, actually, I'd probably put ketchup a little higher.
Yeah.
I'd probably go ketchup before honey mustard.
Yeah, I feel like ranch is a step above mayonnaise, which is the worst for me. Like obviously, if you're talking about fries, you know, ketchup's number 1, but honey mustard, sweet and
Nice
sour.
aioli? I don't know. Man.
No,
If it's aioli,
but
it's
a
different.
ranch isn't an aioli, dude.
No, mayonnaise is.
But mayonnaise versus aioli is the same way that
Yeah,
shelf
but-
stable ranch is versus fresh ranch.
No, but that's what I'm talking about.
It's night and day.
I don't want ranch. I want a bespoke aioli.
Yeah,
I'm 41 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want.
I worked too hard for this bullshit.
Truffle aioli.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. You know, I want
like
some sort of oregano garlic aioli. You know,
Yeah.
fuck
No,
a-
totally.
fuck
Yeah,
a-
yeah.
You know, this shelf stable ranch.
Hook me up.
I'm telling you, I hadn't had chicken
You ever had good
nuggets in
gourmets?
ages, but the mambo sauce, when they had that,
That's
What's the
a star.
mambo sauce?
it was a sauce so good that I'd go to fucking
It
McDonald's
tastes
just
kind
to
of
have
like
it.
Korean barbecue. I think.
It's a spicy.
It's
hot
very
I like
good.
that, like a Szechuan barbecue.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you know what really made me think of it? I went to a takeout Chinese spot when I was back in New York a few months back, and I got, you know, they know what they're doing in New York. They give you all the sauces unless you tell them otherwise, and it's 2 of each unless you say I want more of this.
Sure.
And they got the spicy mustard. I love
Oh, yeah.
a spicy mustard. Love a spicy mustard. You
I'm
know,
mixed with that.
But then you know, it's
not my, like, favorite,
You know,
though.
a couple weeks back, I was at the BJ's up in Westlake, and they're like, oh, you know, let's get ranch. I'm like, there's better dipping sauces, guys.
If it's homemade ranch at BJ's, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're from California, man. It's just like the way
Well,
people eat
yeah.
pizza here. It's like a normal thing.
I think of ranch as a white trash dipping sauce. You know,
Yeah, but that's because the people that do it on the East Coast are like,
trash.
yeah.
White trash Midwest.
They're like, hey, dude, pass me my phone.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
okay, dude.
Yeah,
They're from since
white people were few and far between in Queens, New York, when I was growing up. And if they were from fucking, you know, Albania, and they were not eating. You know, they were just in the streets with machetes trying to fucking find a way to survive.
Yeah, ranch has a big spectrum of the quality of how good it is. Like my favorite pizza place is in Oxnard, Ventura area. It's Topper's Pizza. I like it because they have pizzas like that I can put chorizo on because it's like
Nice.
it's in Oxnard. There's Mexicans, you know.
Yeah.
Or I'll put jalapenos on it. Where a lot of places don't have that kind of stuff. I like
Yeah.
that, and then they make a homemade ranch that's incredible.
Yeah.
So you put tons of chili peppers on it and then dip it in the ranch. It's delicious.
I like a place that does, and you like this, they get the jalapenos, right? But they do the sliced meatballs,
Ooh.
right?
Okay.
Right. Instead of those meat chunks, those weird fucking. No, I want it like a meatball, but just sliced into
sliced.
thin layers. It's
Oh, so it looks like pepperoni. It probably crisps up like that too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
It gets
that's
all
nice.
browned. Yeah, exactly.
Have I told you this story?
Well,
yet?
now we're
Stop
just,
me if
now
I
we're
have.
just 3 fat boys talking about the
Yeah.
food we want.
No, don't. No. Don't stop. I'm about to bust. Don't stop. Keep going.
I'm getting thick over here.
I gotta tell you this story though. If I have told you already on the podcast, just stop me. But going to Polpette it's on the Upper West Side.
Yes.
Yeah, he's famous for the meatballs.
Polpette.
I went there for dinner when I was in New York. I looked up the best meatballs. I joked to her, I gotta go to a place that has the best meatballs in New York. I kept saying that. Yeah. I was like, I gotta find the best meatballs in New York. I kept saying that to all my friends, and my friends were like, shut up. Yeah. And then I was like, I gotta find the best meatballs in New York. And then I looked up best meatballs in New York, and the chef's there, his name is Nicky Meatballs.
Well, of course.
And he's got the best meatballs in all 5 boroughs. That's what he says. Dude, I saw the funniest interaction ever. So I went there. Perfect day if you want to do this. You go to Central Park, walk around, then you go to the Natural History Museum, and you get dinner.
Yeah, it's right over across.
And you're fucking living large.
Yeah, it's on 72nd and stuff.
Yeah, and they have the backyard has this like the hanging flower garden. It's beautiful. And I went there with this girl, and on our way out, we see this old lady. She goes up to Nicky, the chef, because he's standing around. He's like bodacious, loud and stuff.
Yeah, he's glad-handing people.
She goes, excuse me, is it possible to just get one meatball? And he goes, listen, lady, meatballs come in 3, 6, or 9, or with or without pasta. And she's like, okay, I'm sorry. And he's like, you're fine.
I love that he shut her down. 100-year-old lady
comes in 3, 6s, and 9s, and with or without pasta. Just shuts her the fuck down. It was my favorite thing I've ever seen.
I love that. That's a very New York thing too. It's like, we don't do bespoke orders.
He goes, bitch. Yeah. One meatball. What are you fucking? Come on.
It's like,
and then she literally was like, "What?" I think she goes, "I might only want to eat one." He's like, "Just take 2 home then."
Yeah, exactly. You want 2 later.
He goes, "Trust me, they're very good. You're gonna want more." It was amazing. It made my trip.
It's a very New York thing too. It's like we're not going to alter
that restaurant for the rest of my
assembly
life.
line. Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was delicious food.
Right?
So incredible food. Yeah, highly recommend it. Yeah,
it's one of the things I miss most about New York is the food, for sure. I mean, the food out here is great, but it's a different. Like the Mexican out here is better, but it's also different Mexican. I've talked to you about this.
Sure.
The Mexicans in New York are not like the Mexicans here. The Mexicans here look like Asa de la Hoya. The Mexicans in New York look like indigenous people. Like it's just a different. They're more. Central Mexican than
so you're gonna get more of like the black bean and pickled onions.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Mayan food kind of.
Yes, exactly.
I go to a place, if you're ever in San Francisco, we gotta go there. It's called Yucatasia. They make Mayan food. It's delicious.
Is this where I threatened the kid?
That was a different spot. I believe that was Chacarilla, Cancun, when you threatened to assault a child. Dude, I remember like I just met you and you're like fucking kid. I could fuck that kid up, dude.
Zach talked,
bro.
I had Zach.
Who is this guy?
I don't know if I had Zach on the podcast yet, but Zach.
How have you not had him on the podcast?
I tried to get him. He was in town and I might have. I got to check my
That's
role.
crazy.
But he talked. Anytime we're in San Francisco, he tells anyone that we meet. Like if I'm working on a show with Zach. He's like, oh, I'll tell you about the time Randy threatened to beat up some kid's son. Well, I didn't threaten to beat the kid's son up. I told you something.
That I could kick his ass.
And his father can't do anything about it.
And his father's not going to do a damn thing. That's what you said. And his father's going to do shit. Like, dude, this guy's crazy. I'm going to be his friend.
You want to be the right side? You be the right side of violence?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to stand up for you in court, but I love a person who just lets him fly.
Yeah. Beat up these other people, not me.
I grew up in California. I went to a theater school, I live in San Francisco. People are like, I went to UC Berkeley and studied theater there, and everybody was just on eggshells. And I was always in trouble for just being like honest, know, and talking a little shit every once in a while. And just to be around guys like you, I'm always like, okay, nice. Yeah, let it fly, dude.
If I haven't had Zach on yet, I think I might have. I'll check later, but if I haven't, I'll hold the story for him. I won't step on it too hard.
Yeah.
Dude, so we were talking about the sauces. Here's a question though.
Got other Randy series. Well, can we talk about the music festival that we never did?
Sure. Oh my God.
What happened with that? Are you comfortable talking?
Yes. No. Yeah. So a good friend of mine has a amazing ranch in Temecula that he's turning into a glamping site, and he had the property for a couple of years, and it took him a while to get it. He did it all himself. He fucking. Right. Dude, he dug a fucking swimming lake. He
dug it himself.
He got yellow iron and he didn't do it with a shovel.
With his hands.
Yeah. With his hand. Yeah, him and 9 Mexicans.
Less cool. I'm all about grassroots. No, that's that's cool stuff.
Now it has like 20 glamping sites on it, and he built trails. But I was his first year attempting it, and it just the place wasn't ready in time. So like, I gotta push this back. But he still got the place, and it's still doing
Hopefully
well.
we do it next year.
Yeah. No, he's building it up. But that's the.
I don't know why it just sounded so cool to be one of my favorite things.
Well, that's why I
being the
invited
only
you.
comedian or one of a few comedians on a thing that's mostly not comedy.
Yeah.
I love like hosting a music show. Like the other day on a jazz show, I did stand up, and then I'm hanging out there listening to jazz. The only guy who just told jokes in the entire room, and there's cute, girls
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's like, this is nice.
Well,
and I was
that's-
like music festival partying after being one of the only people that was funny all day.
Yeah.
That might have been a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a blast.
Unlike doing a Nathan Lowe's raves when you're still living in town. You ever got those desert raves? It's a fucking nightmare, those shows. But they paid.
I would never. I remember he would offer. I'd be like, I'm
Whatever,
okay,
dude.
I
He
don't
handed me
know.
like $400 and 2 Molly. And I was like, all right, well, I guess this is better than $25
No, he
at
never
the
even.
Improv.
Yeah, he never even asked me to do that. He just told me about it, and I think I was like,
Oh my God, I drove way out there.
Whoa.
It was a nightmare.
I found out that that's just not a good thing to do years ago because I used to like be super into like bass music before my brain.
I can see that.
Before my brain was fully developed. I like to listen to music that was like wah, 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 and I'd be like, oh my God, is this art? Now I'm like, I don't know if this is very good, but I wanted to be like the guy who was like the comedy tent runner at music festivals, and I was always super into that. And every time I tried to organize with a group, there was just like no budget for that, and if there was, it was so minuscule. And then it's like, I don't know. It was just like, then how do we get an audience to actually sit down? They're like, oh, we don't want people to sit down.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, then, and then like, how do we close off the sound? They're like, we don't want to do that. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. That sounds insane.
That was the thing about my buddy, that gig for my buddy Ben, who owns the ranch. He was like, yeah, it's my first year trying it. The budget isn't huge, but I gotta give you guys a little bit of money, but you guys can stay in in his like nice like artist tents, and you guys can just come and go as you please. And it's an hour and a half from the city. It's like, all right, let me reach out to the comics that would be interested. Jeff, because he loves Bigfoot, right? So he's in, right? You, because you're into that. Willie Simon, like the fun people. Like, hey, if you don't have a road weekend booked,
Yeah.
you want to come do this?
Well, because also like,
everyone,
I have my run set up here.
Yeah.
I'll make money around
yeah,
it.
and so everyone that I invited was down. It just fell through because he didn't have like the infrastructure quite built out yet.
We'll do it.
It'll be done. It'll be
in mind.
But that's why I looked. That's why you were one of my first texts. Like, hey man, you want to do this gig? It's like, hey,
Because even if the set wasn't great, I know I'd still have fun.
no, but that's the thing. I've paid him to stay on his property.
Right.
So he's like, hey, you can come for free, and the whole weekend's comped, drinks, food, or the tent, not even the tent. He would give us one of the campers,
Right.
the whole thing. I'm like, oh fuck, the shit. I would usually pay you for this kind of weekend. You're gonna fucking let me do 30 minutes of comedy and stay here for free?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm in.
It's nice when the job you have is something you love doing. Because you're
God.
like, I'll put up with some other stuff.
Oh my god, dude.
Sometimes I break even and I'm not even upset. I'm like, this is still great. I love doing
unbelievable,
comedy.
dude. I have fucking 2 day jobs, and they're both pissing me off, and they're paying me heaps. But I'm still doing comedy for free or a net loss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I have to stay up for 3 hours, but I get to drive to Torrance and do
if you
40
don't
minutes.
have
I'm going down
6
to
drinks
Torrance.
after the show, you can save some money if you just go home. You tried it? It's pretty good.
Well, no, my time.
I'm saying that to you, and then
Yeah.
probably gonna have 6 drinks after this with you. But I don't know. That's like a lot of times that's the way I'll have fun, or not. I'll have to make money on a trip. I'll have to like just eliminate all fun, like the stuff I would normally do, like if I'm in Seattle, like go to a Mariners game. I'd be like, okay, I want to make money this trip. So then I think about it, and I'm like, no, it's okay.
dude.
If I can make like $100, I'll think about. Sometimes I will bare bones a trip and just like try to stay in the hotel room, just like eat the free food at the hotel and from the comedy club, and it sucks.
Yeah. So,
It's how you make money in comedy.
My first couple of years in a row
around
with
it.
Jeff, and I may or may not have talked about it. I think I've talked about it on the podcast, but I've definitely told people in my personal life. He was like, hey man, when he first started taking me on the road.
Well, because I don't think you were strong enough to feature yet, so you were just doing guest spots, right?
That's the thing. Yeah. So he said, hey man, I don't know if I can get you paid, but I'll get you time.
Sure.
And if they like you, they'll pass you. I'm like, all right, great. And he's like, do you need money? I said, no. What, the $50 per fucking host spot? No, just put me in between the host and the feature, I'll do 10 or 15 minutes.
Takes the pressure off you too, and you can just work on yourself.
Yeah, well, yeah, but also he was like, he's like, yeah, I can't, I can't get the club to pay you, but I'll take care of your incidentals. And this is when Jeff was still drinking, and we drank. I mean, shit. It was like, oh, if I was making $200 a spot, we drank more than that every night. So,
Sure.
So I was making more by not paying for drinks than getting the club money and buying my own drinks. For sure. Yeah. Now that he's not drinking, I'm making money. but before, now that he's sober, but before that, I mean, it was just, I'll take care of all the incidentals, and the incidentals got large.
Sure, I did my friend is launching like a YouTube channel that's like betting advice and then like also comedy and stuff. And so he took
Barstool-esque.
Yeah, similar, but it's a little bit like I don't know, more artsy and less like broy. That's his goal. So he's hiring guys like me to be like one of the correspondents.
Okay.
Another guy's
Homos.
like another theater.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bromos, come on.
Bromos, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm a
gay.
lesbro. That's what they call a lesbian, a straight male lesbro.
A lesbro.
Yeah, my old lesbian roommates told me that.
But so we went to UFC Austin, and part of it was he's like, yeah, so I'm gonna need you to like try food on camera and try drinks on camera. Great. And I'll pay for all of it. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah. Can we shoot 400 episodes?
Eating whatever delicious food we could find, and it was like, and then never looking at the bill. I was like, oh man,
UFC?
I've ascended, dude. I've become funny enough where I am a hot girl.
That is
I did it.
That is the ideal. Yes. That is
to watch the weight.
Yeah, and I got good titties too. I'm killing it.
That is the ideal show, to get a travel food show with your friends.
Oh my god,
the Action Bronson special.
Dude, those guys are living the fucking dream.
Right? It's like, hey, we'll pay you $2 million a year, and we'll fly you to exotic
Dude,
locations.
imagine you're not
eat.
even the person that they expect to make a new Netflix special every year. They're just like, just eat this food on camera. What a dream.
Yeah, right.
What a dream. Dude, I wanted to do that show. I always wanted to be the guy from Man vs. Food, the guy that went to all the food competitions.
Really? Not Anthony Bourdain. You wanted to be the fat guy doing the food competition.
Yeah. Well, so I wrestled in high school, so I would actually like starve myself quite often. And so I would watch Food Network and just like watch him eat as much food as he could, and I'd be like, oh yeah.
And swish water in your mouth and spit it out.
I can't wait to go there after season.
Yeah, what'd you wrestle at?
215, and then I played football at like 260 because I was center.
Damn, you were cutting.
So I would all summer I would just
pounds?
lift. Between wrestling season and football season, all I do was lift weights and eat.
That's
a lot.
Insane. That's
and
a
then
lot
before
of weight
wrestling.
to
All I
cut,
did
man.
was run and not eat.
That's the thing about it. When you go up in weight class, I feel like the weight cutting is harder. Like,
and my body fluctuates the opposite now. Where during the winter I get football sized, and during the summer I get wrestling sized.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Dude, I just like accept it. Every winter I'm like, I'm gonna stay in great shape. And as soon as it's cold, I'm like,
fuck that.
I am going to get a little fat again. And that's okay. I'm just like, it's okay. Have some fucking hot cocoa. I love you, buddy. Do what you need to.
I'm gonna have to have my editor recut I think it was this first or second time you're on the podcast when you talked about the shoelace for a belt. Oh, one of my favorite.
You were trying to shame me on it. I was like, you can't even begin to get me to feel ashamed about this. I'm wearing a string on my belt probably right now. Yeah. I prefer it. I think it's the preferred method. I think everyone else is trying to be more than they want to be. They're in their little gorilla suits, trying to act like grown men.
And their Spanx.
You don't like your belt? Shut up. No, it's just because I'm fat, So it rubs into my belly. Also, I skateboarded, and we did that just because it was better if you fell, you wouldn't hit your belt.
Oh, that's smart.
So I would just been used to doing that.
That's smart.
And I want to sell it as merch, man.
That is actually a great merch idea.
Yeah, and call them G-strings.
Yeah, because it's cheap.
For gangsters.
I'll repost that clip. I'll have George. I'll have my guy George
put it in here and say it right now. I think I could actually remember that word for word.
Well, I watched that clip.
That was the first collab clip we had that actually did some numbers on.
Yeah, no, I think so.
It got a lot of views.
There's a handful of clips that are like on my personal favorites, and there's a bunch that got great reception. But there's a very few that got both, and that was one of the ones that got both. That's one of my favorite. Because I remember dying laughing during the conversation, giving you shit, and me giving you shit was funny, and then you not saying, no, I'm owning that. No, I'm fucking. He's like, you're not gonna shame me on this.
Yeah, dude.
G-strings.
You gotta love yourself, and wherever you can find security in a world that makes you feel incredibly insecure,
right?
Hold on to it.
The world.
Because there's a lot of places where I'd be like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I am fucking up. That one I'm like, man, that's cool. It's nice. It's comfortable, dude.
Exactly. That is the currency that social media trades in, is your insecurity.
Uh-huh.
The reason social media is popular is because it preys on individuals' sense of self-worth.
But then there's also people that it's just the opposite too, where there's people that are empowering and uplifting that you can see yourself in.
Yeah, no, but those people.
But it's one or the other.
Those people are popular because
it either pushes or pulls you.
Yeah, but those people are popular because there's so much of you questioning your own position in the social hierarchy that when someone's positive about it, you engage with them. That's why Joe Rogan's popular, Andrew Huberman, like these people who are like life hacking. Those are the people who are just saying, oh hey, it's okay if you do this to make you feel better.
Right.
That's really all they're selling is the antidote to
those people exist because for people that don't have role models and mentors, right? Because we have role models and mentors. I just talk to them directly. People I know actually.
Yeah. No,
and they give me advice
like my grandfather wasn't on social media, so he lived a real life and achieved real things.
I just sat and listened to him talk all the time as a boy.
Whereas now a 20-year-old is going to look up to a 40-year-old, and the 40-year-old's like me. Like, what are my YouTube likes?
That's true.
My grandfather didn't have to worry about YouTube likes. Like, my family loves me. I have a roof over my head. I served my country in the war.
Yeah, hard to respect your father when he makes mukbangs in the garage. You can't do it. Oh man!
Oh, when he's filming your mom's
hard to get wisdom from your OnlyFans mom.
Oh, when he's filming your mom's cuck videos on OnlyFans.
Hard to look up to them. They're like, I have a joke about it, but it's like I wish there was like these role model guys are always like a little bit right wing leaning. And it'd be interesting if there was more, like, if there was, like, a liberal man content creator.
I've talked about this. I feel like there's no tough guy liberals. I want to be the tough guy liberal.
Yeah. We thought we had Joe Rogan for a little bit, but that was not true.
Yeah, what are you?
He's more moderate than a liberal.
What, a fucking homo? You don't like gay guys?
That used to be my joke about Boston now is they're still Boston, but they're like woke now. Yeah. They're like, stop saying faggot, you fag. And you're like, dude, you called me that. You just use it on me.
That's very Boston.
Like, what the heck?
Yeah, what are you, a
It's
fag?
pretty woke. But it wasn't woke.
You're getting mad at me for saying fag? What are you,
Dude, when I was in Boston, the funniest, I got
How much
there.
you like the city, though?
Huh?
It's a good town, though, isn't it?
I liked it. Yeah,
It's a beautiful town.
Yeah, I hung out with your buddy Chase Sable. Yeah, we did a show together.
The best.
When I landed, I get on the bus to go to see my friend in Maine. He lives in Kittery, Maine, or something like that. And so I take the train to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, to pick me up. And when I'm getting on it, it's the oldest man I've ever seen driving a bus. It's just the oldest white man I've ever seen driving a bus. He's like, like every movement is making a sound. And so when he goes to take my luggage, I refuse. I'm like, dude, I can't let you. I have to do it. And he looks at me and goes, he's like, you paid for transportation. I'm taking your bags. Get on the fucking bus. I'm taking care of you today.
He threatened you with kindness.
And I was like, that is my whole like thing about the East Coast. You guys are like mean about how you're nice. Yeah. Where how people in California are nice about how they're mean. In California, they're like, don't take this personally. It's not an opinion on you or anything about how you are as a person. But working together is just not something that we're currently looking toward doing in the future. Yeah. And that person was just like, I don't like working with you, dude. Yeah. But they said it in this fucking flowery bullshit way. But East Coast people will be like, move out of the way, you fucking idiot. Yeah. There's a bus. And that guy saved your life, but he called you an idiot while he did it.
You'll be changing your tire. Like, listen, you dumb fuck. You gotta crank these up to 32 psi. They're gonna blow out.
Your dad never taught you how to change a fucking tire.
As they're changing your tire. Yeah, as they're changing your tire.
But in California, they're just like, oh my god, your tire's flat. That's so hard. I feel for you.
I will push your car out of the road if you're out of gas, but I will curse at you while I'm doing it.
Exactly. That's what it is.
That's how I do it.
Curse. All I want is I push your fucking car.
And I'd rather someone talk shit to me while they help me.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
I need the help.
Yeah. Aggressively helpful. It's like,
I'll work through the insults in therapy. Yeah. It's fine.
Dressing you down as they help you with your luggage. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You dumb fuck. You shouldn't pack.
He's like, enjoy your fucking trip, idiot. I'm like, all right.
The goddamn wheel.
It's great. Yeah. It opened my eyes. I was like, I actually like that. I was like, that's a good. I like being talked to like that.
I like being talked. Yeah. And the funny thing about Boston too is it's also like one of the few towns in the Northeast that still has poor white people. Like I mean, when I say poor white people, like the most
Working
of their
class.
poor people are poor white people.
Sure.
Like the people who live in their housing projects are mostly white Irish people, which you don't see a lot of these days anymore. That I feel like would
Not in the cities.
That's what
Not
I'm
in the
saying.
coastal cities,
Not in the
maybe.
coastal cities. Like, I grew up when white people can still be fucking peasants. Like now it's like
You just don't see them in the coastal cities because they dip and they go. They go to another place. They go.
But I'm so fucking old. I remember when that was a thing in New York.
They move back to the country. Dude, I hate I'm so tired of the California hate. Like, I'll just go somewhere and someone will just hear that I'm from California and then they'll just fucking lose their mind.
Well, dude,
And it's like, and I'm like, not moving to their state. And they're like, they just keep fucking moving here. I'm like, do you know who is moving to California? Everyone from everywhere all the fucking time.
Yeah, but
Because imagine if we were so mean to everybody that came here.
no, but
like,
they also have that blanket thing, like, oh, you're from California. It's like, dude, I've been to some of these redder than red states. You go to Nashville, Kentucky,
Exactly.
a red state. Most of the people in Nashville
you can just go to
are
San
more liberal
Diego.
than me.
You go to San Diego and find someone red as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so this idea that like, oh, you're from there, you must be that.
I mean, it's mostly liberal, but it's still like 60-40. Like,
No, I'm saying all of it is judging a book by its cover, which no one pretends to do anymore.
Stop doing that.
But everyone does that.
Do they even say that to kids anymore? Have they given up? Or they're just like
They've given up.
They're like, just use the cover,
Dude,
we don't even expect you to read books anymore. Just look it up on Wikipedia.
Now, if you say you're colorblind, that's racist.
Which you should see and appreciate all cultures and colors, Randy. I mean, you have to.
No, but I'm saying,
You need to see them and appreciate.
no, we all see them. But I like to put it the way Sam
Or you
Harris.
just don't consider it. Not considering it
Yeah,
is not important.
it's
well,
like-
identity politics.
It's like a
politics is so
Coleman
strong
Hughes
right
or
now.
Sam Harris says. It's like your skin color should be about as interesting as your hair color. It's like, oh yeah, I can see your hair color is brown or
So
blonde,
very.
but I don't care. Like, what does that matter in this conversation? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, your eyes are blue. Great. What does that matter? It should be as interesting as those things, and it's true. People can change.
I believe in a little bit of it, but I think it's gotten overboard, the identity politics thing. Because like I don't know. They'll have like quotas for like diversity.
Oh no! When it comes to a
but then
quota,
they're
I will play the odds.
Like someone recently they were just like, well, not when we say like we want a Latino on the thing, we don't mean you.
Because you're not Latin enough.
You're not. Yeah, you're white passing.
Yeah.
So you're not experiencing colorism. So
like my parents
want to help you.
swam across the Rio Grande.
I'm like, dude.
Do I not count? My dad's still wet.
Sorry,
Does
my
that not
dad
count?
was super cool and pulled a hot white babe. My bad.
Yeah. Like I said, my dad's still wet from the swim. Is that not good enough?
I mean, that's not even true for my dad, but like, it's just I don't know. I think diversity of perspective is the most important thing in stand-up
for sure,
comedy,
for
because
sure.
like you could have a show that's all diverse people and they could all be telling the same kind of joke.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
I did a futurist feminine show like about a year and a half ago at the Chateau up in North Hollywood.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, but I was the only
place is
non-female on the show, and there was some trans women and some regular women, and I was the only like actual.
I can't believe it happened there.
Crush.
They're not safe there.
Crush.
That guy's a terrible guy.
No, crush. And you know how I got it? They like the trans woman who booked it liked my Twitter.
Yeah, because she thinks you're funny.
I know,
you're
that's
being
what I'm
funny.
saying. But you know how hard that rock.
When you go so hard, it's obvious that you're
Of
fucking
course,
around.
there were five women or trans women, and then me, and they heard a lot of the same perspective, and then mine was completely different. So of course I popped in a different way,
Right.
Because I was like the shift in the gears, So I get that.
Yeah, I want to hear everybody. I think stand-up is the most beautiful art form. It's like based in people's identities. That's true, and so that matters a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Some people are actually all the same, even when there is diversity.
Well, I like to laugh when I don't agree with the
I've been on
premise.
some lineups where it's just like I'm the least white, least male on the lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, that's not good.
Yeah.
Like especially on a showcase where it's like, there's 8 comics on here, and I'm
You're
the least
you're
white
telling
and
40
least
white people
male,
how
like-
they suck for an hour. But that's the thing. Like I like when a comic makes me laugh when I don't want to.
Oh,
Like when I don't agree with
great.
the premise, make me laugh anyway.
then,
I like that.
Then that makes them masterful.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I look for.
Yeah, I don't do that. I just ham it up. I go, hey, who in the audience likes cheese? Isn't the cheese great? Love cheese. Love it when it's gooey.
Gooey. More cheese about
They said that I sell t-shirts after the show that say ooey gooey.
it.
Just give me money, I'm gonna die.
Give me money, I'm broke, motherfucker.
Ooey gooey. I
Ooey gooey,
want
give
to
me
do a
money, I'm
character
gonna
like
die.
that where I just do a set that's terrible and it's like really pandering.
And see what you can
And then do a
peel out of it.
merch pitch after 2 jokes. You're like, and I'm selling t-shirts. After
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen people sell merch at open mics. You ever seen that? That's the craziest, wildest.
I have. I saw people bomb on stage but sell a shit ton of merch.
That's crazy. Well, sometimes it's just a good shirt.
Well, no,
It's funny on its own.
no,
It doesn't
I've
matter
seen-
who sold it to me.
I've seen him bomb on stage, sell shit ton of merch. And one of my favorite times is I won't name the comic. I was working with Jeff. We're working in Northern California. Went to the club. You'll know when I tell you after the show. But Jeff hated the club. They were difficult dealing with him, and he's not. He's a very easy guy to deal with.
Sure.
Like all he wants is just to you just acknowledge him when he walks in the room. His rider is say hello when I show up. That's all it's in his rider.
Yeah,
and they're real
which
big.
is probably hard for some clubs because they're used to the rider of the person who's like, do not even let the opener in the green room.
Yeah, don't look at him.
Don't look at
him
me
eye.
in
Don't
the
look him in the
eye.
eye.
I will be writing in my notebook undisturbed.
Yeah, it's the fucking what's his name who just died from Curb, the Richard fucking.
I have the hardest time opening for people like that because I'm like, what do you
terrible
mean
people.
we're not gonna
Oh,
chop
dude,
it up?
I'm spoiled.
How do I even warm up for the show? We're not gonna chop it up in the green room.
I am so spoiled that I get to open for Jeff.
Because I'm the extrovert type. Like, it's better for me to warm up my personality than to review my notes.
Dude, I saw Jeff
That's
almost
actually better
fire
for
a
me.
feature for pulling up his laptop in the middle of the. He's like, "What are you doing? We're hanging out."
Have fun.
Yeah, he's like, part of your job is to hang out with us. It's like, if you don't want to work, Randy will take your time. That guy fucking shut his laptop.
Yeah, we're supposed to have fun in the green room.
Yeah, we want to hang out.
Yeah,
Part of your job is to meet
look
us for
that.
coffee tomorrow at noon.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
Show
people to
up.
open for that are like that, that hang out. Even and it doesn't mean we even like haven't even drink. You know, some people
No,
don't
just
drink, but
hanging
they're still
out.
like they're
Just
still
the fuck-
chatty. Yeah, I don't know. I want the person who will go with me on the hike
Yeah,
in between shows. Go with me to
exactly, dude.
to a baseball game, and we'll chat before the show. And it's like, I don't know, some of that stuff when they do it, I'm like, I get it. You're like prepping, but like, shouldn't you do that stuff when you're alone?
Yes.
You really have to do it right next to me while I'm trying to connect because I'm around another human being. And that's what we do is connect with each other.
Yeah, trying to find a fucking bond.
Yeah, just trying to be your friend. Sorry.
I think we're running along here. Let's get to the news. Sorry, dude. The two of us will fucking talk for
matter.
19 hours.
I hate this guy.
Fuck you.
I'll run his ear off.
I know. I'm into it.
No, dude, you're the best. I fucking love it.
All right, let's get to the news here. So,
Crazy,
School
man.
are now replacing the words "no homo" with "no diddy."
let's get into Diddy.
That's
Wait a
very
minute.
funny.
I got some Diddy news.
Can I
on
get
here.
a quick synopsis on that? I like.
synopsis? On
I'm
what?
kind of
On
don't really
Diddy?
know what's going on in the world
Yeah,
normally. What is that? What's going on?
So Diddy's home was raided recently, and we'll talk about that. But let's give us can you figure it out?
Yeah, his house has been raided. They're looking for evidence of a bunch of sexual assaults and things on ex-wife of his who is pressed charges because it was within the year term or whatever.
Yes.
So at the last day she
That's right.
put all of that together, and they raided multiple houses of his, and there's just so many wild allegations between him forcing her to have sex with like male prostitutes and other artists. And all sorts of other artists coming forward and talking about like awkward positions they'd been put in, and just all this different.
That's the thing about the
So wait, he was like a cuck?
So that's the thing about the Diddy news. So
Yeah.
so the Diddy news is 2 days ago they raided all of his homes. The Homeland Security Investigations Unit raided his homes in New York, L.A., and Miami simultaneously.
Wow.
And this
Did he like get on a plane and fly to the Caribbean?
Yeah, so this all stems from it started with a civil lawsuit by Cassie, his former girlfriend, who filed charges against him for sexual assault and sex trafficking. But since then, a lot of other people and artists have come out against Diddy on this, and somehow that led to
I knew that guy was
yesterday,
insane.
all three of his homes in New York, Miami, and L.A. being raided simultaneously, and since then, apparently he's fled to, or his plane has been. His private plane has been found to have fled from the United States to Belize or Cape Verde, where there's no extradition treaty.
Wow.
Yeah, fall from grace, big time. I mean, the guy's probably worth $1 billion flat.
Did you ever think he was cool?
Diddy? No. Diddy?
I never thought he was cool.
Diddy was never cool.
I was like, oh, this was the guy who could like write stuff down.
Yeah, he was.
He could like fill out like a spreadsheet.
He was.
Everybody else was like, all I do is rap. He's like, I could fill out spreadsheets. I could set up meetings.
Yeah, he was the like Suge Knight said, he was the first producer who was all up in the video, all up in the fucking on the hook. But he wasn't like an artist himself.
Yeah, I never thought he was very good.
No, neither did I. But I mean, he produced good music.
I remember when I was a kid,
executive produced.
He kept changing his name, and at a certain point, I was like, I will no longer learn a new name. I will no longer address him.
Yeah.
No one gets to change their name this many times.
He was Sean Puffy Combs, and he went to Puffy.
Without changing anything else about themselves.
No, if I remember correctly, exactly. If I remember correctly, he went from Sean Puffy Combs to Puffy to P Diddy to Diddy Dirty Money to Diddy. And then I forgot. I lost track.
Puff Daddy, isn't it the Puff Daddy?
Puff Daddy, yeah. Then Puff Daddy, yeah. There's like 7. He's changed his name more times than Prince. And Prince at one point had.
And do you
symbol.
think that's just to hide his crimes?
Oh, a new alias? They won't know who did it.
He's like, I'll just change my name every 3 years.
He's world famous.
Change the name of the clothing line, and they'll never be able to track me.
No, but dude, honestly, when you have a 3-city raid by Homeland Security investigations, and Homeland Security doesn't get called in for fucking knockaround. It's not like the local police. Mm-hmm. That's a federal agency. That's like the DEA kicking in your door. You don't have them do a 3-city raid simultaneously unless there's real fucking.
No, there's evidence.
They're going to show up. I mean, they treated him worse than Donald Trump during the raid for the stolen documents from the that were top secret. So I mean. And who knows where Diddy is now? But his plane took off for non-extradition country.
Yeah. What if he doesn't know that was going on? He just went there to like go pick up more dudes to like fuck whatever girl he's dating. he flies back and he's like, oh
fuck, dude.
I just got these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like John Mulaney with the drugs when he shows up at his intervention. He's like, but I just got the perfect combo of drugs. This is where you're going to stop me? This is the best day of my life. Yeah. I found the perfect combination.
All right, how about we do this, and then after I come down.
Yeah, come on.
We do the intervention.
He was like, that was the best. He's like, that was the best lineup of drugs I think I'd ever acquired. And then that's when they stopped me. That's my favorite thing that he said about his rehab thing. Because that's so funny. That's so drug addict. Like, and then they're like, you guys stop. And he's like, but I have the ultimate night on me right now.
I couldn't see him as a cocaine guy.
I could. Really? Yeah, that's how you get your voice like that.
you blow out your septum. Yeah.
Now listen, it just comes out. I don't do a very good John Mulaney, but you know what I mean. It's very like nasally. It's from
I mean, look, Diddy always seemed like a usury guy. He definitely used Biggie. He's a producer. Mm-hmm. Producers use people, so obviously that's in his DNA.
I'm really against anybody who uses their cunning and their ability to manipulate people to take advantage of people that bring joy to others. I think that's like the worst part of our society is these little like I don't know parasitic people that just fucking sit around taking from the people that actually make and create things.
I feel the opposite. I want to know how they do that so I can use it for good.
A bit of a benevolent sociopath, huh?
Listen, a benevolent dictator. Tell me how I can use you to enrich all of us, all you included.
Randy, I wouldn't put you in charge of dinner. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, I like that. You're like I can. So you manipulate people into making better art, like, and into making more money together.
Holistic decisions.
That's just called partnership. It's different. When it's good for everybody, it doesn't.
It's different.
But I guess it does require. It's just the terms change. You just convince. You don't coerce. They get convinced.
Yeah, coercion is.
You show them the light. You don't like show them your gun. It's exactly. Different. It's just different lingo.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit. It's not usury anyway, but it's also interesting. And we'll take it to Florida, one of my favorite states in the union. Florida will ban anyone under 14 owning a social media account from January 2025 and onward. In Florida, children under 14 are now prohibited from creating social media accounts starting January 1st, 2025, as per the new law signed by Governor Ron DeSantis on Monday.
Do you think that's a parallel law with their law eliminating critical race theory and stuff like that. They're like, well, we can't not just teach them in schools. We got to make sure these kids don't find those videos on TikTok.
Absolutely,
It has to be, right?
It all has to do with controlling the minds of
Making
young
them
people,
ignorant.
without question. Well, one, I do agree with this in that kids under 14, they've shown over and over again that studies have shown that their consequences of being on social media are
No, I'm sure you shouldn't be on it.
Negative.
I didn't get a phone until I was like 15,
Negative.
and it was just able to call and text.
But because social media is so much more liberal leaning than most other avenues, it inures to the benefit of a Republican Party trying to indoctrinate them instead of having, you can homeschool your kid on the Bible. And that would be the rubric, is the Bible.
Well, we probably just talked about this before, but the main root of the problem in America, like trying to do democracy, is that about 60% or more of the population learns a false history.
Yes.
That isn't true. You have to be in an honors or AP class in history
Yeah.
to learn real history, or go to college.
Yeah.
Or you just learn the manifest destiny. Christopher Columbus was a great man.
Yeah.
Version of history. And then that's the person I'm arguing against if I have an argument with someone. And then I can't even fault the man because they're arguing the truth that they believe because they were told it was true by their fucking superiors. Why wouldn't they believe that? Their teacher told them it was true.
This is my problem with...
So it's fine.
I have a big problem with, this is my truth versus the truth. Your truth is not the truth.
But they got tested on that truth, and they got an A on their fucking paper about that truth.
No, I understand that.
It's not fair.
But there is only one version of the truth.
Of course.
You have your own personal experience, not your truth.
Right.
You have, this is my experience in life. It's not your truth. It's what you've experienced. The truth is something that we're all searching for. That is a collective truth. Like 2 + 2 = 4 is a collective truth, right? When you say, it's my truth, that, as a black person, I've been followed in stores. That's not a truth. That's your experience. A truth is universal.
Okay.
There's no such thing as your truth.
Okay, so you just see it's just the wrong word to use for
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
words don't mean anything anymore. Do you know the term
That's part of the problem.
Locked in.
Words mean a lot to us as comics.
You know the word locked in?
Yeah.
People say, the phrase locked. I'm locked in. Didn't locked in used to mean like I'm not drinking for a little bit. I'm working on my business. I'm locked in. I'm working on my special. I'm locked in. Now people say we're all locked in. We got a 40 rack, and I'm like, that's not what locked in means. It means like the opposite. It means you're not at the party. It means you're at your house, like studying at night. That's what locked. Nothing means anything for very long anymore. It gets like the meaning, like bastardized as quick as it can.
The meanings of words are shifting so quickly now. It's like, I'm colorblind. That's racist. Well, Martin Luther King said he was colorblind, and that was progress. Like in our lifetimes, that phrase.
He said, "I'll fuck any bitch. Doesn't matter what color, as long as she's not my wife."
Yeah. And they can't. And they're trying to cancel.
Don't clip that, please. For the love
and they're
of God.
trying to cancel Martin Luther King for that. Like saying, he was a womanizer. But I'm like, but it's civil rights. Trumps.
I don't know. Do you think human beings can be all the way perfect? I think we have to do something bad somewhere in our life.
No. So
either you talk bad or you act bad. You have to do you have to let it out somewhere. Other than my grandmother, I don't think anybody's been perfect.
and
Jesus and my grandmother.
Yeah. And if you ask your grandfather, he's like, no,
we would fight.
Abuelita takes up the S.
Hey, don't make me call up Senor Dios.
This is too much fun. All right, I'm sure we're well over time. Xander, plug your podcast or your special one more time.
Yeah, please check out my special on YouTube, Milky Mexican. Just look Xander Beltran up on YouTube or Milky Mexican. It'll come up with the first results. And then follow me on social media at This Guy Funny Man, or you can find me on Facebook just at Xander Beltran.
All right, guys. Obviously, you can follow the podcast at Ready Set Blow Podcast. Follow me at Randy Valerio. Rate, review, subscribe, all the stuff. You know what's going on, kids. We'll see you next week. Peace.